What's going on, guys? Midwest Tokusatsu here. And this is going to be a general recap of all the stuff we got yesterday regarding Power Rangers. So we got stuff for the Lightning Collection, stuff for Cosmic Fury, and also a trailer for the 30th anniversary special. Now, as for the Lightning Collection, most of this stuff was already previously leaked, but this is like the official reveal for them. So as far as the new stuff that we got, we have Dino Thunder Black. And this is the last Dino Thunder Ranger we need to complete the team because previously we got Yellow. So this is obviously a must-buy for me because I've gotten everyone up to this point. And then we also got a look at Mesagog. So I think this is the first time that they're doing any villains outside of the Zordon era, if I'm not mistaken. And it's also our first Disney era villain that we're getting. And just like Tommy, I'd say that this is pretty much close to a must-buy for me because I've collected everyone from Dino Thunder up to this point, so, why stop here? Plus, there's a lot of, good added detail here. They even, gave him a jawline to actually open and close his mouth, so that's really awesome. And then next up is Lost Galaxy Pink Kendricks. Once again, another must-buy because I've gotten everyone from Lost Galaxy up to this point. Also, the head sculpt is a pretty good likeness to the actress Valerie Vernon. And also, they made her glasses removable, so that's a first as well, because I remember last time when they did Billy, he had his glasses, but you couldn't take them off, and also, that head sculpt in general was just, I don't want to talk about that one. And then there was also the Tango Warrior 2-pack. This one, I might pass on. I got the last one that they did, but the Tangas, they're foot soldiers. I'm not really much of an army builder myself, but from what I've heard, they're meant to resemble the ones from that one-shot comic, was it Edge of Darkness with the Phantom Ranger? Remind me in the comments if that's the right name. I gotta go back in my collection and read that again. But, yeah. This isn't necessarily a priority for me, but they might be a good option for fans who want to army build them. So, there's that. Then there was also Dino Fury Blue, which is actually revealed by Kai Moya, the actor for Ali himself. And he gave a quick little overview of what the figure would entail. When I was actually watching it, I couldn't quite see if the joints were pinless, but he just gave a quick review of the articulation, kind of like I do for my videos. But yeah, I'm sure it's a nice figure, but me, I don't really collect the current season's figures in the Lightning Collection. I more so just go for the regular $10 6-inch figures, which they're almost just as good as the Lightning Collection minus, an ab crunch or a civilian head. The Dino Fury mainline figures were a bit of a mess, but that's a story for another time. Then lastly, we got a first look at the Lightning Collection remastered line with MMPR Blue and Yellow. So, this is basically them trying to improve on figures that they had previously released with better helmet sculpts, better civilian heads, and also the joints are pinless this time around. Plus, there's also more hand accessories, more weapon accessories, more there's these weird colored ground effects. I guess that's supposed to be the lightning effect this time around. And they also come with holdable morphers, surprisingly enough. Not quite sure how much of use they would be here because they already have the morphers on their belts in their ranger forms. But if they ever do civilian figures, this would be a perfect accessory for that kind of thing. And also, just like Kendricks, Billy's glasses are removable. And Trini also has a different head sculpt this time, too. I think the first one they did, she had kind of the one ponytail in the back. This one has, the two ponytails on the side. So it's one of her Season 2 looks, if I'm not mistaken. And then for both figures, they have the Blade Blaster in its 3 different forms. They have the condensed one for when it's in the holster. They have the stick mode and then the gun mode as well. Because the first time, we just got them in gun mode. So I'm actually considering picking these up, and then when I get them, I'll just sell the old ones and then just replace them with these. Especially whenever they do red, because red needs it the absolute most with that ugly head sculpt they did the first time. But I'm not going to get into that. So last thing I believe was just they did a demonstration of the Zord Ascension Project Astro Megazord from In Space. And they mentioned that they actually had the original on hand and took notes from that one and just kind of built it up from there. So that'd be really cool to kind of compare the two when they come out, because I don't own the original one, but I'm sure there's going to be some toy reviewer out there that will. But they gave a quick demonstration of the transformation, and they did a side-by-side comparison with the Zord Ascension Project Dino Megazord. And surprisingly, it's a little bit taller because they do say it's 15 inches and 1/144th scale. So he's a pretty big boy. But it's currently up for pre-order at $165, which I think is a bit too much for something like this. Like, hopefully, I kind of hope to just like get it on sale on a good deal, because I don't think it's worth as cool as it is. I still don't think I can quite justify that price, you know? So fingers crossed I can get it on a deal. Now moving on to the big stuff, first we'll talk about the trailer we got for the 30th anniversary special. So this was about a 2.5 minute preview that I believe dropped from Entertainment Weekly first, but it's basically like a behind the scenes look at everything. So we have some updates, some new details, and also like the cast, the returning cast, just kind of like reminisces on the show from back then, just like how great it's good to be back together. And some of them, this is their first time working together on camera. Because, you know, when the Stone Canyon trio, you know, Rocky, Adam, and Aisha first came in, I mean, Austin, Walter, and Tui, they had already walked off set, so they never actually got to meet the new oncoming cast. So them and even Catherine Sutherland, like, this is their first time working with Walter Emanuel as Power Rangers. And then Billy, like, it is so good to see Billy back after all these years, because I never thought in a million years I would ever see David Yost come back after, you know, what happened to him. But, you know, times have changed, and I think he understands that, and that's kind of what prompted him to come back. And then, of course, you're going to have those casual fans who aren't following the production behind everything, who are going to wonder, like, where's Austin St. John? Where's Amy Jo? Like, why didn't they ask JDF to come back before, you know, his unfortunate passing? Well, they did actually ask them, but they both declined for whatever reason. And even this morning, Amy Jo put out a tweet saying, "For the record, I never said no. I just didn't say yes to what was offered. But other fun stuff is in store. Looking forward to watching my friends kick ass." So it sounds like she was interested, but maybe like the pay just wasn't there. And as for JDF, they had been working on this since before his passing, and like they offered to bring him back, but he had declined for whatever reason as well. So if you happen to find any, you know, casual fans that are like kind of asking, you know, like, where's Kimberly, who's Catherine, or why isn't Tommy involved, just kindly explain to them the circumstances, because I really believe that they tried their best to bring everyone back that they could within reason. And even in the preview, like, we get like a shot of the original 6 Rangers, and the Green Ranger is in there, so what could that even be? Like, could it be a flashback? Is Adam going to be the Green Ranger, or could it be JJ, Tommy's son? I don't know. Only time will tell. As for other details that we've been shown, we also got confirmation of other returning characters. And so far, we know that we're going to get Alpha 5 and also a robot Rita Repulsa. That one I'm still a bit iffy on, because last time we saw Rita, she was, you know, the Mystic Mother in Mystic Force, and she had become good. So if it really is her, they're kind of messing with the timeline here. Like, I know they brought back Lord Zed recently in Dino Fury, and thankfully, like, they explained that, so I have no issue with that for the most part. So if it really is Rita, or Cyborg Rita, I just hope that it's well explained and doesn't contradict anything in the show's timeline. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about were the uniforms for Adam and Aisha. So it's officially confirmed that their badges do indeed say SPA, and they are deliberately done in the style of the SPD badges, which that can also kind of pose a potential issue, because we're only 2 years out from when SPD takes place, but SPD as an organization has been around for decades at this point. It's like, it's even said in the show, like, all the parents worked at the Earth base, and, you know, it's always been SPD. So where does SPA factor into this equation? Like, some people have been saying that maybe SPA is like another branch that recruits Rangers, or like they're like the initial startup point for SPD, which kind of wouldn't make sense. So, like, whether it's Space Patrol Academy or Space Patrol Alpha, like, maybe it's just a branch where they train Rangers for SPD, but we'll see. But this new special is going to be titled Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always, and it releases on Netflix April 19th. Look forward to it. And lastly, we have a full look at Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. So, before the Hasbro Pulse live stream, we got a look at the poster with the rest of the suits, the artwork. And then during the actual live stream, we got an in-person look at the suits with the actors wearing them. And my first reaction is I'm just kind of on them. Like, I'm not overly crazy about them. I don't really hate them. But I will say, like, the torso area looks kind of plain with just, like, their one color on there. Like, it's too monotonous. Can't talk today. And, like, there's not enough to, like, break up that color, you know? Also, the padded muscles kind of remind me of, you know, like those cheap Party City Power Rangers costumes you would see every Halloween. Like, they're not quite that bad, but they're just a bit reminiscent of them. I will say one thing, though. Like, we don't see them with the helmets on. Like, maybe, like, they'll look better in action, but we say that all the time. Like, maybe they look better in action, but this time I want to see them with the helmets on to see if it flows a little better. And then possibly the biggest change here is that Zato is now changed from red to being the Zenith Ranger and kind of like this beige gray color. And Amelia has now gone from pink to red, which is kind of a shame because, you know, girls can't be Red Rangers. I'm totally kidding, by the way. Of course, we've also had female Red Rangers in the past with A-Squad Red from SPD and also Lauren from Samurai. And, of course, you have, you know, your honorary Red Ranger with Jen from Time Force because, you know, she was team leader. But this is kind of like our first full-time female Red Ranger, even if it is just for like a 10-episode season. And I kind of see them as like a prelude to them doing, you know, more original stuff apart from the Sentai. Because Simon Bennett even explains in the Hasbro live stream how they're not so shackled down by the Sentai footage anymore. And they can start, you know, doing more original concepts like the suits here. And the only stock footage that they'll actually be using is the mecha fights from Q Ranger. And the ground fights, of course, have to be original in this case. So suits aside, I'm definitely interested to see how all of this plays out, especially seeing how Amelia becomes team leader as the Red Ranger. And even their helmets are mostly the same too, with like a couple of like added details, but just Zato and Amelia get color swaps. Now, whether or not Cosmic Fury is good, it definitely has my interest. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of everything we covered, because this was a lot to talk about. But let's have a discussion down in the comment section, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to like my Facebook page, Meals Tokusatsu. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And this is Meals Tokusatsu, signing out.